And that music is horrible. Yeah, and we're watching Esau's rulership fall, and that's not just over here in the West, but that's worldwide, right? Because the scriptures talk about that, the feet of the bear, which represents the final part of Esau's rulership. Right, the Russians come in and tear up shit, which Russia is the largest landmass, was the largest country in the world, if you go by landmass, with Canada being number 2 and the U.S. being number 3, I believe, and then China being number 4. So this is a heavyweight bout, and I got more footage for you, because they're talking about FIFA and all this sports shit, which again we're talking about the Western culture. That's the way of the West. Meanwhile, over in that region, it's straight up warfare right now. And when there's not active warfare, they playing war games. Right? They don't. Mostly combat sports. This is Luke 12:49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? If it's already kindled. Right, which it's going to be literal fire on earth. It's going to be literal destruction, but then it's warfare as well. All right, we're not in the beginning. We're not in the cool of the day. We're at the epicenter. We're at the peak. Right, where the age is about to end. Conflict, violence. You have Trump is Nero, which the news is saying. And after Nero is civil unrest. It's the year of the 4 emperors. And I believe after that, following that is Vespasian. There's the Vespasians, the Vespasian dynasty. Was it, I believe it's Trajan, Nerva. And then after that is the end of the pagan Roman Empire. All right, Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this. Among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right, let all the mighty men come near. Let everybody be stirred up, everybody be roused up. They'll show you more clips, because they're not showing this on the news at all. They're promoting folly, fun, festivals. Let's see, the low-flying drones. Yeah, they're actually they actually just hit, the Ukrainians just hit a refinery. They're saying it's southern just south of Moscow, just south of the capital. And see, it's a different game over here, because these are all Edomites fighting. So they could just dress up like each other, cut each other's hairstyle. They know each other's dialects. It gets ugly. Low altitude drones, so it's hard to really track them like that. Right, and then every time Ukraine is destroying these refineries, shit, that's having an effect on Russia's customers. And I had pulled up a map. Check this out. Can't even. It's hard to even see it. 31,000. And this is 4 years ago. You know, Russia was saying they could take Kiev in 3 days. That was 4 years ago. Yeah, they're predicting, which we already know a lot of stuff is unreported. 37,000 air drone attacks. 31,000 battles. They're trying to. They're getting closer. And we already know who's funding Ukraine. You know, the Western powers, primarily the United States. Moscow's right here. And this was supposed to be allegedly this refinery that was bombed. Was in the south of Moscow. I don't see that reported, so some stuff must be not reported, or there may be weight. All right, it says the past week was full of important developments in Crimea. Crimean occupation authorities installed by Russia declared a state of emergency in the peninsula on June 26. This was a direct result of a series of Ukrainian strikes that targeted the peninsula's fuel, power, and transport infrastructure, systematically affecting both military logistics and daily life for Crimea's 2 million residents. On June 21st, authorities banned the sale of fuel to everyone except state agencies. So a lot of these people can't even get fuel to go to work or to do anything, because fuel is becoming so rare. Now, this is just a look. The scriptures talk about the land, the unwalled villages, which is primarily talking about here. But, you know, when they got these drones and shit, even if you got a wall, it ain't gonna matter. All right, that's why the scriptures say, man, this is gonna be a battle of fuel of fire. Bombs, missiles, shooting off, you know, arrows. It says on June 21st, authorities banned the sale of fuel, right, which left the civilian population and businesses without access to gasoline. Moreover, blackouts became persistent in Sevastopol, the peninsula's largest city, after Ukrainian drones damaged the city's main power substation on June 24th. So a lot of people without power. Ukrainian forces have also systematically targeted the logistics network connecting Crimea to mainland Russia and to Russian-occupied southern Ukraine. They attacked the Kerch seaport oil depot, the port Kavkaz, I don't know how to read Russian, but whatever it's called, Kavkaz oil terminal across the Kerch Strait, the Kerch Bridge, and a strategic railway bridge over the North Crimean Canal. As a result of the ongoing drone attacks, residents queuing up to leave Crimea caused heavy traffic at the Kerch crossing at the start of what is normally the peninsula's peak tourist season. Well, there ain't no tourists coming now. President Zelensky described the operation as carefully calculated to create the conditions that will force Russia to choose peace, together with long-range attacks on refineries deep inside Russia. The aim is to affect Russia itself with the negative consequences of the ongoing conflict, but whether this pressure would translate into what Ukraine seeks is far from certain. Yeah, because the deeper you go into Russia, you got to deal with weather, you got to deal with climate. You know, Russia, everybody who's going into Russia and invaded, you know, Napoleon was successful, but he sacrificed a lot of his troops to win. And so somebody uploaded this, they're saying this is Moscow. Yeah, Yeah, and it's hard to defend when you got shit like this flying. But this is what the prophets saw. They said they saw arrows shot from, we're talking about ICBM missiles, but this is a form of the weaponry that they saw. That is a long-range drone you can shoot. I don't know the exact range, but these things can go for some miles. The bigger ones, you know. Matter of fact, them things can be so high up in the air you can't even see them. Right? He saw. They'll bring some of them out, certain cities. Right? Joel 3:10. Yeah, when you're fighting against a larger opponent, you gotta fight like that. All right, like back in the day, the Vietnamese they were hiding in the jungle and tunnels and shit. What's it called? Guerrilla warfare. Well, now that they're doing that, they're doing the same thing too. They have ground troops for guerrilla warfare, but now they're doing guerrilla warfare with weaponry, right? Long range drones and trying to hit, at the electrical and the gas grid, trying to shut down power, shut down, their ability to function, and get them to piece it up. All right, Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right, that's the spirit that's out here. There's a lot of pushback from nations that are weaker because they've used the West like a whore. They've used her business. They've used her to make themselves richer and get themselves better technology. They sent over a lot of their people. Scriptures talk about that. Man that traveleth is very wise. They send all their foreigners over here. They'll throw them in a truck, to have them not even reading English, driving around this thing, and then they take whatever they learn back to their country. And they're seeing, how weak America is, how weak of a people that's here. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. All right, and it's a love-hate thing. Because the scriptures say they will hate the whore and burn her with fire. But then it says they will when she's burning, all these nations are going to see it and be like, oh, they say they shall bewail her. All right, but she got to go. Y'all had that one woman you dealt with, that strange woman. All right, which you like the bitch, but this bitch got to go. She's foul. All right, verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's exactly what's going on. All right, things are being moved towards, pushing towards that Saudi Arabia region. Conflicts being pushed over that way, where it's gonna be a couple of things going on. It's gonna be that. Then the scriptures talk about Russia in Ezekiel 39, which a lot of the Christians get that part right, including that feast, that great feast of the birds, which was promised of the Lord. But I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Wahab Kakadash, the one the apostles and elders of Great Millstone rule well, and shalom to the elect.